Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you as we're with you a half hour later today, and we will be for the remainder of the meet. Today on Wednesday, we shift over to a 12:50 first post. Obviously, Fountain of Youth Day and a couple Saturdays and Curl and Florida Derby Day will be a little different, but the majority every other racing day, 12:50 going forward.
Yep, it's beautiful out today. Fortunately and unfortunately, we did get rain, so we are off the grass today, but the track is fast. We definitely needed the rain, and it's much better than snow like a lot of the country is covered in right now.
I was thinking about it last night when I texted you how hard it was raining. It was a summer rainstorm last night.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time it's rained around here. So.
Yeah, it's been, I think it was Pegasus.
Yeah.
That was the last time it rained.
Good point, Pegasus week. So we'll take one off today, and we'll get back on the turf soon. The weather looks promising for the remainder of the weekend. Rainbow Six already quickly. They put almost $140,000 into a fresh new pool on Sunday. So we have an aggressive 150 in the estimated jackpot today. That carryover after one racing day already at $33,000. We know how quickly it escalates around here. And solid 9-race card again off the turf, a fast main track. That's good to see at least. And let's take a look at the early pick four. We talked off the air. I think I lost 4 top picks today. There's a whole lot of rework, and I did change the turf races that are now on the Tapeta. So here's a $27 early pick 5. You can see the single in race 2 to Colorful Lady down on the inside. In race number 3, I've got the 4 on top, and that is Rachel's Coach. In race number 4, we go 2 deep. I lost my best bet of the day, so I scratch into Dawn's Mist and a real head scratcher. And in race number 5, we've got the 9 on top, and that is Bird Wildcat off the claim for Rohan Crichton, and that is a $27 early pick 5 ticket. We'll get into the opener now, as I mentioned, on a fast main track. The crew, Kenny and the guys and gals, do such a good job around here. $25,000 maiden claimer here in this one. 6 furlongs. Scratch the 4, and that is senior money out of this. And you're down on the inside with the Mike Yates Firster Map This.
Yeah, the work on the 2nd of February was a decent one. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the rail. I'm not a huge fan of the jock, to be honest, but I do think that this horse has a little bit of natural ability. And we'll take a look at a stat, too, with Mike Yates, which I found very, very interesting, and this really does flatter him. This is the first-time starters, maiden claimers, dirt sprints. 32%. Mike Yates is such a prolific, just dirt sprint trainer.
Watch the tote board here. There is a scratch of an 8-1, but this horse at 10 on the line. You'd like to see him take money a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Mike, like you said, we just showed you a big stat there. They paid 17 for this Liam's Map Colt, and now debuting as a 4-year-old. Nothing overly clever for me, but Sunday Song is if nothing else, I don't really know where the form is of some of the favorites, or morning line favorites at least. Let's show you Sunday Song. I like what Gary Jackson is doing here. This is her 12-5, so this is the bottom here. Yeah. But Sunday Song basically dueled, chased, pressed the entire way. Otto was good. He won at odds on in his comeback for Arundel and Carlos David. Sunday Song didn't want to give it up at all, and I like the rise that Gary's doing in here. We go from 12-5 at the bottom to a quarter today.
Yeah, in a field like this, he actually fits very, very comfortably. We'll see Otto Friday. Facing winners for the first time in his 3rd start. But pay attention to see if this is a key race or not. But Sunday Song really did try hard.
Yeah, and you got Mohawk River and Ben's Hero. Yeah. I mean, you don't really want to get involved with those horses at short numbers, do you?
Not at all. Well, what do you do with the Chad Brown runner?
Well, I don't do anything with them, to be perfectly honest with you. Here's the 6 is who she's referring to. Nice and Good, an Uncle Mo colt that they paid $210 for in 2022 is now going to debut for a quarter. I'll say this. He has not missed one day of training since the works are on the page.
Yeah, and so if one thing we know, he's not going to be a short horse for 6 furlongs.
No, good to see Dylan Davis ride as well. But, this barn's not afraid to give him away, lose him. That's a better term. Thank you. Yeah. But we can't get involved with a horse like that who you'd figure going to take plenty of money as well. Let's go early pick 4 now. In race number 2, we are off the turf today. We'll go a mile and 70 on the Tapeta, and what is a $35,000 maiden claimer. Fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 2 Tree Sees Kai, the 10 Miss Bia, in the 12 Cameo Rose, in the 11 Always Adriana Gets In and Will Ride. Let's take a look at your early pick 4.
It was a lot of reworking.
Yeah.
This whole card was for me today. I've got an $18 play. I originally had 2 singles in this sequence, and now really a lot of bobbing and weaving. We'll get into this race in a second. Race 3, I do have the 7 on top. That's Can't Know It All. Race number 4, I scratched into the 1. Nana Boo Boo.
Yeah, I couldn't. I did too. And
Yeah.
There's no way I was putting her on top.
Yep. In race number 5, I do have the 9 on top. That is Bird Wildcat. So an $18 play for me. And this second race here now off the grass, Brian, it's a bit of a head scratcher.
It really is. We'll see where you're going first. Okay, good. Because Margot Treasure, Time is Magic, and British Empress actually all did run on the Tapeta. Texted Bob earlier this morning. Thanks for working on these replays because we swapped the turf out and we swapped the Tapeta in. So let's take a look. Yeah, Time is Magic had run here, by the way. This is the 3, Time is Magic. I don't know how much run, but there was trouble here on the inside.
Yeah, there was, and that's not where you want to be at any point of a race. Big Beautiful ran well here, but British Empress, there was a little bit of a trouble line, and I don't really see it. I'll be honest. When you read the chart, there was a little bit. So I never saw it. I thought she ran okay, but she does her same thing. She's 0 for 14. There's just I don't want to put her on top.
And she's got 8 underneath finishes as well. So no, I think I like the 2 horses that we have out of that race, and Paco's going to get aboard Time is Magic. I auto default into the 1, Colorful Lady, admittedly. Her Tapeta race wasn't bad on debut. The biggest drop in racing. Cat's Eyes might be going places. Yeah. Irad says, sure, all right.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good sign here. Blinkers go on. I feel like they're just trying something. Yeah. But if anything, we know that she's semi-handled the Tapeta before.
Yeah. What about Always Adriana? I haven't seen Georgina Baxter's name in the entries in a while.
Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze there.
Yeah,
this horse... First off, this is a huge jock switch here. I love the fact that we're dropping in class. Mm-hmm. Maybe that this is a filly that has some upside. She only has 2 starts. Yeah. She'll go 2 turns for the first time in her career, and we're bringing her back. At least we know that she's, I want to say fit, because you had that 7 furlong race at Tampa. That could be a taxing track.
Yeah, and you're not going to find a better bred horse to try 2 turns. Buy a Derby winner out of Giants Causeway on the bottom. So we'll see what we get. She's eligible to wake up today. Race number 3 goes 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's a 17.5 3L, 4-year-olds and up. We do have a big scratch of the 3, and that is 3-0 is out. And you are on the 7. And well, let's show it, because Can't Know It All, the 7 in the 2 Ortis, dead heated last time for the win for the 2L.
This was tough. This was the race that we watched the replay? We were like, are we sure this is?
Yeah.
This was interesting because Ortis, I thought, was in a much worse spot than Can't Know It All here. Now I know I have Can't Know It All on top, because now, conversely, today Can't Know It All is on the outside.
Right.
So, and Ortis again is stuck on the inside, which is not a good spot to be in. I mean, if the roles were reversed, Ortis probably would have won by a half a length, 2 lengths here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like the post for Ortis, and I didn't pick her, but I will say this run from Ortis was off an almost 14-month layoff. Yeah. So you would think she's going to be a little tighter. There's your dead heat with the squish nose there. You can go both different ways. Now, they are rising in class, both of these gals, but you're going to take the hot hand, 2 horses that are clearly in form. I'm on Rachel's coach. Yeah. I just kind of felt like this might be the type of race where a new face is not a bad thing.
You want a new face in this race, that's for sure.
And she's got two Tapeta wins.
Yeah, exactly. And that was at Golden Gate, but still, you would think that at least she's familiar, or he, is familiar with the surface. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they're Calbreds. So you look at the class, and I know that they were maybe on paper competitive looking races at Del Mar, but when you really look into the fields, they weren't. But
correct.
This isn't either.
I'm with you on that. The bummer for everybody is that you had a very vulnerable 2-1 morning line favorite that is out, and everything's coming down. Let's show you Adios now. We have her as a fringe, have him as a fringe contender. I want to give him his due. He did have some run here entering the far turn last time for state bred optional claimer. You're going to see him get tightened up on, and then you're going to see it get a lot worse than that. Was he going to win? I don't really think so, but he had zero chance here.
Yeah, you've got no shot there. You hit a wall, and there's nowhere to go. So,
but here he is. He's still trying.
That's
why I said maybe he would have been somewhere in here.
Yep, yeah, he might have. So, hey, now we get the rail. That's not ideal, but this is a big drop in class, and hey, Billy Thorino's finally got on the podium.
Yeah, and Billy's going to tick over sooner or later. He got to win the other day. Dylan Davis is going to jump aboard. He's hardly out of the realm of possibility in a spot like this, especially with the favorite out of this race. 9-pack for you on Wednesday. So with 3 down, we'll take a break. 6 to go. When we come back, Ron Nicoletti's got his rainbow ticket, $150 in your estimated jackpot. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. It's a nice day out. Unfortunately, it was not a nice night out, and that is why we are off the turf. A summer kind of rainstorm blew in all around South Florida, up by me in Fort Lauderdale, down here as well, and here, there, and everywhere in between. So we are off the turf. We'll start with a fast main track. Testament to the guys and gals out there. The Rainbow 6 in race number 4 at $150,000 in your estimated jackpot. Let's take a look at Ronnie's ticket now.
It's 3240 the play for him, and a 3x3x3 to get it going here. And you see in race number 7, there's a single of the number 1 Secret Lover. This horse looks pretty tough today, especially with the way that the race is setting up. Now race number 8, just too deep for him. The 1 Santos to Wilson, and the 4 Avant Glory, who ran quite well last time. And then in the finale, just 3 deep for him. The 5 Mighty Murphy, Dios Will, and Hollywood Mayhem. I like it.
3240. There we go there. And big pool looming after just one day where we unleashed it on Saturday and fresh on Sunday. So they poured it in on Sunday. We'll see what they do today. Let's get back into it. I have my best bet in here. That is out with the scratch of CC Girl. That's it. We're 5.5 on the Tapeta and what's a 12-5 maiden claimer for the 3-year-old fillies. And as I mentioned, the big scratch of the 6 CC Girl. I'm scratching into the 1.
Yeah.
Scratching into
you're
the 1.
funny with this. You're so stubborn. You can't put the 1. I don't blame you, but I didn't know who else to put.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Nana Boo Boo, if anything, is dropping in class. I hope that's her saving grace. To be honest, the barn 0 for 38. It's unfortunate. We like Jen Antonucci. She does a great job, but sometimes just the horses are running well, but they're not clicking over into the win column. Maybe, just maybe, today's the podium race.
I'll tell you what, if it's not, I don't know when it is for this horse, because with the scratch of CC Girl, this horse auto defaults into what honestly really should be a something to 5 kind of favorite.
Right.
I am absolutely reaching as far as I can reach with Dawn's Mist, who, listen, I'm not going to tell you I saw these, but she seems like she's worked pretty darn good on Tapeta. He certainly didn't run any good on dirt.
No, so this is a great sign here because
it is.
Great sign at least on paper.
Right.
The Valiant Minister's a young sire, so we're still kind of seeing what's going on with that guy. But at least, like you said, at least the morning AM activity on the Tapeta seems to be able to handle it.
Yep, your horse underneath has run okay. The 5 of Divya underneath got to dig a little bit the last time that she sprinted on Tapeta.
Right.
Hey, what about the 2 Old Red Wing? I tried to make this horse for Walder, Lasix, weight allowance as well. It seemed like another one that had a work or two that was Okay.
Decent enough. Yeah, at least you get some weight off.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the Pete Walder barn has been pretty slow lately.
I
He's
agree
got
with
some
that.
live chances, so I don't know. We'll just watch.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, late pick 5 now in race number 5, 6 furlongs on what is a fast main track. These are 62.50 claimers, 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 2. Gabagool is out, and we'll take a look at Samantha's late pick 5 ticket.
This is going to be interesting to see what it costs. Oh, that's funny. It's not funny, but here's an $81 ticket. I didn't have any singles. We'll put out a budget ticket for this here. I lost so much today with the bobbing and weaving of the scratches, so it made this sequence a lot more difficult, I think. Now, race number 6, I do have the 4 on top, War Officer, but I do scratch into this horse. It was actually like a double scratch into this horse. Race number 7, I do have the 1 on top, that's Secret Lover. I think Speed Control's dangerous. I don't know, maybe Secret Lover, if you could go like Ron and his Rainbow 6, maybe we could just single that horse. Race number 8, the 6 on top for me, that's Jimmy's Big Day. I don't know much about this horse, but he's a new face in the field. And then race number 9, the number 3, Coaster to the Moon for Mike Maker. Second start off of a little bit of a layoff.
All right.
There we go.
There we go. No calculator on that new iPhone, I heard. It's a weird thing.
Well, even if there was, I'm not even sure how you would use it with this.
All right, here we go now. Back on a fast main track for race number 5. It's a solid field. You can go a lot of different ways in here, and of course we land on the same horse, and that is on the outside. The 9 Bird Wildcat will go off the claim here for Rohan Crichton on a little bit of a cutback too.
Well, the Rohan Crichton barn is very, very good off the claim. The bad news for this gelding is, actually maybe it's not bad news. The 2 wins in a row at 62.50 claimers. How much do you trust him to get three wins in a row?
Well, I understand what you're saying there, but to play devil's advocate with this horse, he's done it on the sloppy track. He's done it on a fast main track. He's done it dueling on the lead. He's done it setting a comfortable lead. He's done it at 7. He's done it at 8 furlongs, and now he'll cut back today to 6. The race clearly goes through him, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, well, here's the question mark. Now, Competitive Saint does have a main track win,
Yep.
but he's all to PETA for a long, long time.
Yeah, for, like you said, a long time, but now we get a class drop here, and he hasn't been in for a tag like this in quite some time. The last time he was in for the 12-5, 3 starts back and ran 3rd, but hey, maybe the dirt is... Again, it's the Pete Walder barn. I'm not sure. Right now, it's just been very, very slow.
He never wins either, the horse. And I worry about his lack of early speed, because he's been leaving himself with too much to do.
Good point.
And that's not going to cut it on the main track either. Solomon's Gold is very, very logical off the claim for Amador Sanchez off himself. 2 wins and 3 out of 4.
Yeah, it's very competitive. And before the win streak, there was a 2nd place finish and then another win, so he's got some gameness to him, and we know he likes this 6 furlong.
I have to be honest with you. If he was the 9 and the 9 was the 4, I would have picked him the other way.
I agree.
Because it's a good post position for the 9, to be sure. Race number 6 kicks off the late pick 4. We are unfortunately off the turf. We'll go at a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta in what is a $35,000 maiden claimer for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 1 Gladstone and the 7 Mustaed, who's out of here. So things get a little more mixed and mashed a little bit. Let's take a look at my late pick 4 ticket, and then we'll get into this 5-pack here. And I've got a $32 one. I myself didn't have a single, so I agree with what my partner was kind of laying down with her late pick 5. In race number 7, I'm on the 1 Secret Lover as well. But I'm going to use Whitingfield too with a good post and some tactical speed. In race number 8, I do scratch into the 4 Avant Glory in race number 9. This is a tricky one on the Tapeta. It's my long shot. It's a bit of a reach, but it's the 2 Jay-Z's Last Chance on that one. A horse with a little bit of a rating gear in a race with some speed, and going to stretch out to 5.5 today.
He's set up to run a big race.
I think so, right? And I think he's supposed to be every bit of 12-1 in there, and that's a $32 late pick 4 ticket. Let's get back into it. Another one of these races where I scratch into my top pick. I'm interested to see what you are doing here. I scratch into you didn't like this horse at all last time, and you were so right. I scratch into him today. You as well?
Yeah, I double scratch it.
Double scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of this horse, I'll be honest, but again, it's like the Jen Antonucci horse. Where else do you go?
Yep.
The maiden 35 race was not a good race, but Corruption came back to win.
I know.
The second place finisher came back to win. This horse just is what he is against this group. Is this?
I know.
I don't know.
And he's run well on Tapeta.
Yes.
He's run Tapeta races that would drown this group.
That's a great point.
But I think
yeah.
we can all now readily admit and agree that he's not that horse anymore.
No.
There still might be enough in the tank. That race he comes out of is really good. Rodney Valente made a really good claim with Ponant. I think that's a horse that can win races for Bill Therinos. But the reason why I also use the 2 is that I don't trust the 4. The 2 is supposed to be as loose as he can be in here, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great sign because the rest of this field – War Officer showed a little bit of speed last time out. I don't know where that kind of came from. It was like just super aggressive. But from the rail now, that's very important. And when you're going these 2 turns on the Tapeta, I feel like you can sneak away with the rail draw a little bit more.
Absolutely. And this son of Justify for the Hall of Famer Nick Zito's got a legitimate chance to get him on the board here. You've got the 5, and that is. What do you make of this Sir Magistrate? We had a stat for Bill Mott, but that's out the window. Yeah. He just did not do any running in his return. Tucson was actually good that day for Pletcher. We'll see him on Saturday too, I think. Okay. They've never bet this horse either, which is odd to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked him a little. I could have made a better case for him on the turf. Okay. I think.
We'll see what we
was
get.
it the layoff or was it the Tapeta with the bad effort last time?
Layoff was over a year, so he should be tighter. Theoretically tighter, if nothing else today. Late pick 3 kicks off in race number 7. We'll go $170 on the Tapeta. It's a 12.5 3L. These are 4-year-olds and up. It's a clean field of 7, and we're both on the horse that is supposed to be a pretty stiff favorite in here, and that is the 1 Secret Lover.
Tried the Tapeta for the first time last time out, going 2 turns. And it was a really big effort here. He'd only been 2 turns one other time in his career, and that was on the turf, which Kozan's I'm not a huge fan of 2 turns on the turf. So I think now with that start under his belt, the rest of the field's looking up at him. He has more back class.
Yeah, and this is handicapping 101 too, because you look at the 3 outside horses, they all want to get involved early on. True. Here's Paco, a tremendously strong finishing rider, going to save all the ground. Yeah. 3 of the 7 in here are back on 12 days rest, including Secret Lover, who was best of that February 7th group. Speed Control is, no pun intended, one of those speed horses, winless on the Tapeta.
That's a problem. But the good news is he likes to beat you in your exotics. So underneath, I think.
Underneath, Akani Light's got a couple Tapeta wins, and Whiting Field, if nothing else, has drawn best of the other 2 speeds to be outside them all. Late double kicks off in race number 7. We're on a fast main track and what is an starter optional claimer here for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratched the 5, Hey Q, and the 9 was my single, and that is Awesome Train on a big scratch. You'll go and start it with the 6, Jimmy's Big Day, who's very scary, very odd and very scary in here trying dirt.
Yeah, it really, though, and it's interesting here because there were no works on this horse in the morning, so hard to tell how he's been training, to be honest, and he's coming off of a little bit of a layoff, just a couple months, but I feel like you really need a race over this track now. But Safi Joseph, I will say this, he's kind of the exception to that rule because he just gets him so fit it doesn't matter. We get Irad here. I'm sure we'll get a short price. Going to try the dirt for the first time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with the 2 scratches because this is a horse that you really need a somewhat of a price on.
Yeah.
Because this is a pretty salty group. Even with Awesome Train out of this race, I do scratch in to the 4 Avant Glory, who ran very, very well, dominating at this level 2 starts back.
Yeah, it was a big effort here. And I don't think he really stubbed his toe last time. That was a tough race. Air Combat for Marty Drexler's won 2 in a row now. He just, I don't know. Maybe it was just a one-offer. Like, you run a big race, it kind of came back to him a little bit. Now, do we take another step forward? Yeah,
we'll have to see. They went quick last time, and he just couldn't keep up. We're going to show you Belton Brooks because he was a good third, to Awesome Train. 3 starts back. This was more Awesome Train than Belton Brooks. But I'll tell you what, Belts and Brooks now off the claim for Nolan Ramsey with Paco aboard. He's a cagey old dude, and he's got some game to him.
Yeah, he does, and he likes this dirt course as well, so that's a good sign. I still feel like he's probably a cheaper claimer than this.
I think that's fair.
I think that they got one by in September at a big price at this level, and since then, yes, he's run well, but at the end of the day, I think he's just really like a claiming 20, like just open claiming 20 type of a horse.
Yeah, this is a little bit much for him. As good a job as Nolan Ramsey has done since he went out on his own, claiming horses is yet to kind of be his forte. It's only 0 for 9. It's not a big stat at all, but just maybe a little food for thought. We got to talk about Santos and Wilson. Big rise up in class for him, but boy, when he's in his element, the problem is 3 starts back and 2 starts back was his element. 2 starts back, he got drubbed by Avant Glory.
Yeah, he did, which you wonder who's going to turn the tables today. But he's cutting back. He ran so well.
Boy, he did.
Going that 1 mile. Looney Sema ran last weekend and didn't run any good, so maybe that's...
Yeah, and I worry about the rail post position as well. This is a fun race. It's a good race. You know, Pascal Moon, before he went to the Tapeta, had won 3 in a row. He's 3 for 3 on the main track here, and, you know, he's a nice price in here if you believe with him.
Yep, exactly. He really is.
Good one on in the finale, race number 9. We'll sprint 5.5 on the Tapeta, and what is a starter optional claimer here for 3-year-old fillies. It's a clean field of 9. We're all over the place. I like that. Your long shot, I guess?
No, I lost my long shot.
You lost your long shot. All right, well, you're going to get one with Coaster to the Moon, the 3-horse.
Well, at least if there's one thing about this horse is he's got some upside here. Just has been on the Tapeta 1 time. That was coming off of a few months of a layoff, so I think he'd be tighter here. I like that Luis Saez stays aboard. And Mike Maker, the barn, is kind of starting to pick up, I think, some traction here.
Yeah, I want to say something in the 3 for 40 range for Maker, which would be 5 for 29 since then. So we knew it was coming, and it has come. So just pay attention to that. Long shot for me is the 2, Jay-Z's Last Chance, 12-1 on the morning line at that price last time. Ran an okay third. He's going to have to run faster today, but she's got a running style that should pick up horses and should appreciate an extra half furlong too.
Yeah, the half furlong is huge here. The 5 furlongs is just so sharp for a lot of these, and especially on the cutback. Look, there's a win at Hawthorne going that 5.5 furlongs. Of course, that was on the turf, but still, this filly, if she can improve just a little bit, or even if she just runs the same, she could win this.
You got her in the mix too.
Do,
I like it. 3 of these gals beat winners last time, including the 1, and that is My Sergeant. She did do it the right way, and we'll show it to you now.
Yeah, now, unfortunately, the rail draw, that's not good.
And not unfortunately, but you have Irad here too, and it wouldn't shock me. I mean, she's 3rd choice at 4, but it wouldn't shock me if they send her off favored. They can't bet enough on Irad, but he's got his work cut out here because, yes, this is a tricky draw.
It is a tough draw here, and it was a tour de force type of effort, but whenever you're throwing down on tonight, maybe that's not the best sign.
Couldn't agree more, though he finally did win the other day. He couldn't not win the other day.
Yeah.
But he did get it done. I just think, you know, the proven runners, Dios Will and Hollywood Mayhem. Hollywood Mayhem, the 9, who's got 2 wins, which is a big deal. I just feel like they're better horses.
That's fine. And how about the Guadalupe Preciado barn? 0 for 29.
I know, but he's got 13 underneath.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes we beat that up a little too much. When you're over 29 with 2 seconds and 2/3, that's different. He's got 8 seconds and 5/3. The horses are running. They're not winning. But I'm not disagreeing with you. I think we just need to be fair on that.
This is a nice horse, though.
Yeah, this is a solid horse. And like I said, when you have 2 wins in these races and literally the other 8 horses have 1, it's a very, very big deal because as we've talked about and as we've seen time and time again, anybody can beat winners. They take that rise in class, and nobody's scared of that anymore. And that gives her a big edge in here. Dylan Davis with a nice outside post as well. 9 races here for you on another Wednesday. Before we send it upstairs to Pete, he's got some work to do. We've got the lightning round, and as we do each and every Wednesday, we'll start with the standings. And Irad Ortiz Jr. is keeping on.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really separating himself as he always does. The podium is looking good with Tyler, Luis, Edgard. Edgard Zayas, can't say enough good things about him. We get to watch him all summer long, and it's a grind sometimes in the summer, but he does it well, and we're lucky to have a jock like him. He tries hard.
Yeah, without a doubt. So those three will vie for the last two spots
Yep.
for the remainder of the meet. I think Amicio, as solid as he is not going to be able to make up that gap. So there you go there. Trainer standings, we'll take a look at that. And, of course, Safi Joseph Jr. is far and away. That's a 26 for Mark Cassie, I promise you that, but that's a big number for him too.
Oh, yeah, very, very big number. Oh, yeah, it is. That's funny. Victor Barbosa, again, he's still hanging on, which is awesome.
Yep, because he admittedly did not have a good championship meet last year,
Yeah.
but the stock is better and the barn is firing.
Definitely.
To be sure, it is Hot Dog Wednesday, but bet $10 and you get a little voucher and you get over there and get your free hot dog. It has been, I promise you, very well received, especially by your two friends talking right now.
Yeah, we like the Wiener Wednesday. You can get it right outside the paddock. I'm looking now, and they're already lining up for him.
I like it. Just $10, and that's a pretty darn good deal.
It is, yeah.
Actually, and as we talked about at the RIP here, and we'll talk about it again, and we'll remind you, but each day going forward, with the exception of Fountain of Youth Day and Curlin Florida Derby Day, we'll be with you at 12:50 for your first post, and what that means is we'll be on air at 11:50 for Gulfstream today.
You've got it.
Is that right?
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have to
Foy,
say about
Fountain of Youth, my favorite day of the
Foy.
championship meet, without a doubt, and we're going to draw that card Saturday.
it. Yeah.
How about that?
Yep, it's really exciting as the path to the Kentucky Derby is just on the way. You talk about a wide open race this year. It'll be exciting to see who's going to show up for this. Burnham Square was, of course, so impressive in the Holy Bull. Ian Wilkes is very happy with how he's come back out of that race, so it should be a fun day.
I think Sovereignty's aiming for
Yeah.
the Fountain of Youth as well, which is pretty darn cool. We got no best bets today, unfortunately. They are out.
Yep.
So, you don't even have a long shot either, you said.
No, I don't.
All right, well, she could have one
In
in
the
the last.
finale,
You're not allowed to have two, but she could have one at 15 in the last with Coaster to the Moon, the 3-horse. I'm one stall to the left with Jay-Z's Last Chance in the finale at 12-1. So it's that kind of race,
Yeah.
and we look forward to it. We look forward to Ronnie bopping out here for the opener as well, and we always look forward to Pete upstairs. And we're happy to have you aboard on another 5-day racing week here at beautiful Gulfstream Park.